So right now, the way we do it with FireCom is, once we're responding, we switch to FireCom 3, and then they give us additional information, like,
We may do that.
flames visible or
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
When will you guys be giving that additional detail? So like if I say 4685 responding, is that when you're gonna
Yes.
start giving it?
Mhm. Yep, that's when that would be our indication that, somebody's listening then. And we call that supplemental information. So if we can give you anything that'll help, pertinent information, we'll give it to you. If it's, because how it works is when the call taker at our dispatch center takes the call, they process that call as soon as they can. We have national standards that we try and meet, accredited standards, to where the call taker spends 60 seconds or less gathering the information from the reporting party. They send it to the dispatcher, which just means they press enter on the computer. It pops up on the dispatcher screen. They put it out. So while they're actually toning you guys out and giving you the dispatch, the call taker is still talking to the reporting party and gathering more information. So if we get anything that's good that you need to know, we feel you need to know, we pass it on. Today with Tacoma and Central Pierce, we do it all, the supplemental information, mainly through the MDC. But now if it's critical, life safety stuff, we're going to say it over the air as well. That's it, I think.
Well, I was just gonna say the text messaging setup that includes information like the address too, right? So
Yes.
if we missed it in the first short, then
Yep.
we can just look at our phones,
Right.
and then we can just ask them too if we needed to.
Yeah, if you need
Tacoma from
clarification.
4612, can you get a repeat line
Yeah.
address or whatever?
Yes. That's fine. Yes.
Okay, so if we're on a call and we're on A5, we're not gonna hear any more additional secondary calls on C5.
Yeah.
So how are we gonna address that?
We
So if we're all
we will
out,
call you on A5.
A5, say you got a secondary call,
Yeah,
we got
another call.
phones, so I guess that would push out the call detail, but
Mhm.
notify the IC, we got another call.
Yep. Yep.
So I guess those who were outside the area who perhaps didn't respond to the initial call
As long as they went back to C, they're
would have to stick to C and listen for additional calls.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Step on back to emergency. Feature activation. Set it off. We know we've set it off. To engage with Tacoma, an example would be Tacoma, Ruston 3605. Wait for acknowledgement. And then tell you to disregard that.
You could do that, or you could just wait till we call you and ask you about your emergency. Tell, what we're going to say is you're transmitting on channel 16, and then we're going to wait for a reply from you. So you can just wait.
So a lot of things that we are working on right now, of course, is the protocol and how we're going to be engaging with this. And this is what the chiefs and I talked about today, this past week. Now, Chief, have you decided if you're going to utilize Ruston before we say our designator or before we say our agent, for instance, Tacoma, Ruston 4605 or Ruston 4612, or you should say Tacoma, pause, 4612?
We are, I think, the only four-digit, what would you think we should be using?
46. We're going to know who you are.
4605,
Yep.
we're fine.
Okay.
Yep. Now with your engines and your aid car, preface it with engine 4612 or aid 4631.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you forget and just go 4631, we're going to know. But that's
Okay.
the reason I say that is because that's how we've got you set up in our computer-aided dispatch, our CAD that I keep referring to, is that's how you're identified in there. Because your numbers are a lot different than the rest of them, and for the sake of our dispatchers, I wanted to make sure that they understood that the E meant it was an engine and the A meant it was an A car.
Okay, and by the way, thank you for staying over. You have another question here.
Oh yeah.
Which is mutual response. You talked about this earlier, perhaps I missed this when I was...
Mutual aid.
Yeah, mutual aid. Let's say we have a fire, we're toned up first, we're calling for Tacoma residential response or Tacoma response with this. Communication channels. Right now we're on...
It's so simple. I'll
Which is-
show you how it works. Code 4601, requesting mutual aid, one engine, one ladder from Tacoma. Have them respond on A5.
Okay, so in that case...
And you wouldn't even have to say A5, we just have them respond on it.
So at that point, they're going to be, their crews are gonna be responding all on our channel.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
Okay.
But because it's not your channel, you know.
It's
it's-
Tacoma's
I
channel.
understand, what I'm saying is that does be the channel.
Right,
Right.
right, yep,
I'm
yep.
gonna,
That's- We're not
I
gonna
want
switch
to
it.
circle around
Yeah.
that channel, so.
Last thing
It's
we
just-
wanna do is change the channel on you, because that just creates confusion. So it's,
We know that.
yeah.
We really know that.
Keep it simple.
If a lot of us are responding from home, obviously, and like if we're in zone 2 or 3 and we're not responding on an apparatus, is it acceptable for us to go, like if we miss an address, if we go on A5 and say, like my number is 4679, is it acceptable for us to go like Tacoma from 4679, can I get a repeat on the address?
Yes.
As not an apparatus, but just
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
personnel?
But, you know, try and get the address, you know,
Yeah.
if you can, you know, so we can just reduce the amount of radio traffic to the minimum. But if you need to, yeah, do it. Yes?
Now, seeing as we do not have mobile radios, and this, everybody needs to understand, if, like you hear one of the people sign on, like Don and I will sign on if we're POV into the station, a lot of times what happens with me is I live up in Tacoma, but I'm stone's throw from Ruston. And a lot of times I will sign on, 4602 responding, and when I get down here, and I may have a piece of equipment, is it gonna confuse dispatch when I come up saying engine 4612 responding? Because I'm gonna come in, okay, they're expecting it, so,
We've got just your 3 units in CAD.
okay,
And conversations I had with your chief was, even though you say you're responding, we're not gonna show anything en route, because your number isn't in our CAD.
Right.
We're gonna acknowledge you, and we're gonna see you on the, but the ones that we're worried about is when you come up and you go, engine 4612 is responding or en route, that's what we prefer, then that's when we'll show that unit en route.
En route.
In
I'll
the-
respond.
So you want all of us to say, like, when I wake up to my page and switch to 5A, you want everyone to go 4679 responding?
No.
You want me to
En
route,
route.
or?
You haven't,
wait.
you've missed a couple of drills. So here's our deal. So tonight, when we all have these radios on what, C5, right? And it goes, "Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo." Okay, and they're gonna say, we got a thing going on, whatever that thing going on is. People who live in zone 1, for the first 1 minute, will say, Chief 4601 en route, is.
Mhm. Yep.
And then maybe Bruce, or maybe, you know, maybe he says the same thing. 3 people. Once we have 3 people responding, the rest of you are coming, but you're not on the radio talking. We don't need to know that 20 people want to talk on the radio. Okay? After 1 minute, so I want you, once this goes off, where are you at in 1 minute? Are you about in your car?
Yeah, hopefully.
So by the time you get to your car, if nobody's responding, you're in zone 2?
Yeah.
So you would say 46, who's it, whatever, responding. And then zone 2 people can say they're responding. Once we get beyond that, we're gonna, and we've talked about that, if it comes down to nobody's responding, and she's in Gig Harbor, shut your ears for a moment here, then you're gonna say 46 responding, requesting mutual aid with Tacoma. Because by the time you get here, the fire already burnt all of the house, okay? I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
That's never happened.
But I don't wanna not have something in line to get that fire put out before she comes from Gig Harbor.
And Chief, that's something we're definitely gonna be hitting our drills.
And we are. I just wanted you to get an idea, so we're not gonna, you know.
Chief, did we figure out the zones? Because I know there was that argument there.
Big
I
argument.
mean, obviously, I know.
We'll get that taken care of. Don't worry, you're out of the zone.
Me?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
He
What
lives
did I
next
say?
door.
I live next door. Don't worry, you're out. You're in no zone.
And so, to review
No
again,
zone layer.
Review again, here you go.
2-3 inches away from your mouth, right? You know, so you're about that close. You know, and if you're using the remote mic, same thing. Turn away from whatever noise. If you're at the pump panel, you know, this is the pump panel back here, you know, kind of shield it a little bit. It'll be super clear. You know, that way there's no problem, no noise interference. For your SCBA face piece, it sounds like you guys have got voice amplifiers. You know, just hold it away from it 2 to 3 inches as well. If you don't have a voice amplifier, you can go ahead and put it right up to the lens, and it works really well with either a remote mic or without. If you pop this cover off of here and it exposes the contacts on here, if you put a wet glove on there, you might not transmit like you'd like to. It can screw it up. So either the cover should be on or the remote mic should be attached. With ours, we mount the remote mics on them basically permanently, and that's the way we leave them. So, let's see, what else can I tell you guys? That's pretty much all I have, other than the chargers. I brought one for an example. They're very self-explanatory. It's really really simple charger. It's a smart charger. So again, there's no battery reconditioning. It just slides in there, and you can tell it's engaged just by the way it feels. And then this light will come on, and it'll indicate what level of charge it has, what it's doing. You guys all get copies of these sheets. You can make more copies of these. But it tells you what it's doing by the color that's indicated. So real simple. You can just leave them in it. It doesn't hurt it at all to leave it in the charger. Doesn't set a memory in the battery, that type of thing. So you don't have to worry about that.
Did they go 12, 14 hours? Easy.
As far as the talk time.
Battery.
Talk time. It really depends on how much you're using it.
Remember how much we're using it.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't talked on this radio all day. And it's dead, I'm sorry, it's dead already. From this morning.
Oh, yeah, no, it depends on if you're using it or not. I mean, it's gonna use a little bit, if it's just hanging on your belt and you're not talking on it, but that battery's gonna last all day. I mean, in a 24-hour shift, the way we work, if you have a real busy day, you might notice that you're getting down, and for a good safety factor, if it's down to about 50%, I'll grab another battery out of the charger and slap it into my radio, just to make sure. But the norm is it easily lasts all shift. But if you got a busy shift, things can change.
Decent charge without the radio, just the battery. I see that.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. That's a good point. If you pop that battery out of there, you can just slip it in there. So I don't know if that's part of the contract or not, that you got spare batteries, but.
Well, when I first talked to the chief, we talked about several things. I just want to make sure that we're all. Supposedly we'll all be getting speaker mics. I mean, these weigh considerably more than these.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to gain some weight so I don't pull my pants down.
Yeah, they're hefty.
Well, maybe not.
And if you do end up with these, you just gotta make sure that it's really engaged on there. It's really hooked in there, because it can fall off. The other thing is your bunker coat. If you don't have a good Velcro on your pocket flap, if you bend over, it can fall. I know that's been one of the things with recruits in the tower. They're leaning over the window and they're hoisting up a piece of equipment. Out goes that $5,000 radio and whoosh, shatters on the pavement.
The garbage people are looking for help.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know how your coats are on your like these coats that you wear for EMS calls and your bunker coats.
I think
how the pocket is designed.
They're probably pretty well.
It might be something to think about modifying. Oh, the antenna's on the right side. Perfect. Look at that. Nice. But I would be sure, take that extra second or two to make sure it's in there. Make sure the Velcro's latched. If your Velcro's worn out, get new Velcro put on. We do that on our bunker jackets. If it's getting weak, we just send it in and get it replaced, because it's not worth spending $5,000 on another radio for $2 worth of Velcro.
The other question I had, pull up your radio. Did you give him the one with the dog didn't want on purpose, or? He was on it.
It's quite fitting for him.
Anybody have any other questions? I'd like to.
DNA, I guess.
I want to, and this has all been recorded and videotaped. We're going to review this, and I'm sure we're going to have questions. I still have some questions myself.
Hopefully I didn't misspeak on it.
Oh, I think you did a great job. I want to thank you for coming out.
Oh, you bet.
Thanks,
sir.
Now, this is the guy that's training the folks down there. So when we make a mistake, they're gonna know that we're trying our best and we'll get through the mistakes. Everybody's got, except you guys, got the email I sent out about this radio. Basically, if you leave the volume up, you put this on C, you put this on 5, we are light years ahead of where we're at right now. Light years ahead, not just a little bit.
I don't even get the calls right now.
Yeah. We're going to be able to hear very well what the call is. Unfortunately, somebody set a quick dial button for Myers. He won't remember the address. He's always pushing the replay. So give Myers a bad time. It doesn't do me any good. I go to the wrong address anyway. So, you know, that Highland Street and Shirley Street. Oh, it's the other way around. But if you just use this to listen, you're going to hear everything we know. As opposed to right now, when we get here and we get our updated information on 3, you don't get any of that information. So I'm very excited to have these radios. They're a little heavier because they do more. And you know, we've got scan features. We've got lots of stuff. We're going to do a lot of time listening to how Tacoma handles their communication. But just talk to them in real time, real voice. Hello, here's what I got, here's what I need, here's what I'm doing, and they'll figure out the rest.
I should have probably given you a broader list of the alpha codes that we use to clarify. You know, like if you're talking size of a building, we'd like you to say, you know, instead of side A, side alpha. You know, just it's much clearer. B Bravo, C Charlie, D Delta. We've got the whole list of those codes for you. I can send those over via email.
So I'll start sending things out, even to you guys, even to you guys as well.
Something I didn't think about one of the tricks
Okay,
through this.
radios, go back to the bin. Go back to the bin. Not sure why we assigned them, but it is what it is.
Yeah.